What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have five Dutch habits I picked up after 11 years in the Netherlands. Before we dive in, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to smash subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and let's get right to it.
When I moved from Spain to the Netherlands 11 years ago, I knew living in a new country in my 30s would shape me. But if my 30-year-old self could see my 41-year-old self now, he
Mm,
would probably be quite surprised at the habits I've developed.
I
Some
love it.
are
I love it. I
practical,
love it.
some are cultural, and a
Mm,
few even transformed my personality. Today, I will share the 5 Dutch habits I've picked up, and maybe you will recognize them too. Here is what's coming up: becoming more rational, eating only one warm meal a day,
mm.
expecting direct communication, saving and investing, and practicing Niksen, the Dutch art of doing nothing. Alright, so let's start with the first one. Back in Spain, I was operating mostly by
More.
following my heart. If something felt right, I would just do it. No overthinking, just passion and a little bit of impulse. But Dutch culture is very pragmatic and structured. Here, people weigh their options, make lists, and really think things through. At the same time, I was also emotionally unstable. I still remember when I started my MBA here in the Netherlands, one of the critiques I gave myself was exactly that. I needed to become more stable, more balanced. Fast forward 10 plus years, and I can honestly say I've achieved that. I don't
Mm,
experience those emotional ups and downs anymore. I'm
mm,
much more steady, mature
mm.
in a way, and rational in the way I operate today. Now, I can't say for sure if this change came from the Dutch environment or simply from age, but either way, it happened while
Mm.
I was living here. And that's what
I think maybe a mixture of both. Definitely getting out of your environment can absolutely bring you that peace that you've so desperately been craving. In a sense that it seems like he calmed down like a lot from 41 to 30. Like a lot of things changed from his moods aren't up and down. He's not going through these stresses anymore. And so, yeah, moving to a different place absolutely can do that. But I've also seen, as I'm 30 now, with age, you do become a lot more calm because you start to understand things more with age. But uh, like I said, a new environment definitely helps as well.
why I count it as a very Dutch habit I've developed. In Spain, the main meal of the day was always lunch. During my work
Mm,
break, I would go for the menú del día, which usually meant a full 3 course meal. Dinner was
mm,
later, often with friends, and of course, it was
mm.
also warm and filling. But
Yeah,
in the Netherlands, things are very different. Lunch is usually just a sandwich or something very light,
yeah,
and dinner, which happens much earlier, is the only warm meal of the day. Honestly,
yeah.
I've grown to like that routine. I still remember my very first lunch in a Dutch company canteen. I was introduced to the famous plain sandwich and a glass of milk. That was a shock. My first year here, with these lighter lunches, sometimes it felt like just a second breakfast. Combined with lots of biking, I actually lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
Do I miss the menú del día in Spain and the affordability of having breakfast outside? Definitely yes.
I feel
But at
that.
the same time, I really enjoy my current diet here in the Netherlands, and
Mm.
especially those early dinners at home.
I feel that. And I feel like, when I first started reacting to the Netherlands, I'm sure you guys heard me say it in multiple videos where I'm like, like I need three good sized meals. Like a cheese sandwich for lunch. That's it. I ain't enough. I've started to come around to your ways, Dutch. I've started to come around. You guys are slowly winning me over. Breakfast is lighter now. I don't eat that big a breakfast, but I've never ate a big breakfast, so unless it's like a special occasion, like the whole family's getting together, everybody's cooking breakfast, then I'll pick out. For the most part, I don't eat a big. But usually, I would eat a decent sized lunch. I eat a good sized lunch because I'm starving at that point. But now I've started to eat lighter lunches. It really helps me continue to function throughout the day. If I eat a heavy lunch, I don't really want to do anything else. I just want to kind of sit on the couch and relax, and yeah, that kind of wastes half the day. So now I will eat a lighter lunch to continue to be productive and be able to go out and be active and do stuff. And then for dinner, yeah, that's where okay, let me sit down and eat a good meal. Before I go to sleep, let's eat a good because I everything's done. I have nothing left but to go to sleep. So now I can eat a good meal. And I do get that. I do. I'm not saying I'll eat a cold food for lunch. I'm just saying lighter food. Like I'll eat less or lighter food, something that won't sit heavy on me. And I got the Dutch to thank for that.
Okay, so Dutch directness was a real shock at first. In Spain, we tend to
I
be
get
more
that.
indirect,
Yeah,
sometimes
same
even
here.
careful to avoid hurting someone's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Here,
Yeah.
people just say what they mean, no sugarcoating, no drama. Fast forward to now, I actually expect people to be direct. I've
Yeah.
kind of lost the ability to read between the lines. At work, for example, when I'm in meetings with colleagues from the UK, I sometimes don't realize they're implying something
Oh.
because I take the words
Mm.
literally.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just doesn't register with me that they might mean something different than what they're saying. The same thing happened recently with my mom when she came to visit. There were so many moments where I found myself asking, do you mean you don't want us to travel? Do you mean you're cold? Do you mean something else? And I kept thinking, why not just say it?
Say it. Just
Life
say
would
what
be
you
so much
mean.
easier.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. I don't think either way is better than the other, direct or indirect. I just think it's what fits certain people best. And I think the Dutch culture, that directness, and I can appreciate directness as long as it's not with a strong tone. Like I feel like you're getting on to me or you're trying to like tell me off or something. Just like you can be honest with me, but don't be honest. Like there's a tone that kind of set something off in my brain in a sense. But that directness, that getting straight to the point, that being able to talk to your boss like they're your equal, that I really love that about Dutch culture because I've always wanted to like just say how I feel on certain things without stressing about if somebody's feelings are going to get hurt about it. But on the other end, if people say how they feel about me and certain things without worrying about hurting my feelings, I might not like it. So I don't know. I appreciate the pros of direct communication, but I think for me, indirect might be best for me.
All right, so in Spain, I used to live paycheck to paycheck. Saving
Mm,
wasn't really on
I
my
feel that.
radar, partly because I wasn't earning much to begin with, and partly because in my 30s, I just didn't have the financial mindset. But in the Netherlands, that changed. I
Mm,
learned how to budget, save, and even invest. Dutch culture really
that's
values
incredible.
being frugal and planning for the future. I remember one moment that really opened my eyes. Back when I was still in Spain, one of my closest friends, who happened to be Dutch, told me she
Mm.
was saving 30% of her money since childhood,
Oh,
even from her pocket money as a little kid, because that's how she was taught.
as a kid,
That was mind blowing to me at that time. Fast forward to today,
that's
and
amazing.
that shift completely changed my future. It even set me on the FIRE path, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. I
I
never
love
thought I
that.
would be the type of guy with spreadsheets for savings and investment goals, but here
Hmm.
we are.
Yep.
Nixon is the Dutch.
Same, bro. 30% since childhood. That is a great mentality, I feel like, to instill into your children. because it helps them learn that, like, hey, like this life, although I mean, in the big picture of things, it's short, but in the small picture, we want to live a long life. You got to save up for the future. Say, and that investing, yeah, man. Do y'all teach that in y'all schools? Do y'all teach that to your children? Because that's something that I was just never taught in my household. And no disrespect to my parents, they didn't have money to invest in. So um, they did, but they made sure we had everything that we needed. We just weren't educated about this thing. They didn't teach us about it at school. It's something that I've started to look more into recently as I start thinking about retiring 30, 40 years in the future. Like, I have to learn about investing and putting up, not just saving, because I've been a great saver for most of my life, but that money that I've saved most of my life could have been put in an investment account and it could have grown so much. But I wasn't educated. I didn't know that. And so, yeah, shout out to the Dutch. I love that mentality. I love that mentality.
Concept of doing nothing, just sitting and letting your mind wander. I've always been a daydreamer. So when I first heard about this word, I thought, wow, there is actually a name, a framework for something I naturally do. Before, I often felt guilty if I wasn't being productive, like I was wasting time or something. But here in the Netherlands, I've embraced it. Now I love sitting by a canal, watching the water, and just existing. Sometimes it's an hour in the middle of the day, sometimes it's a whole Sunday where I don't plan anything.
I
And
love
honestly,
that.
it's one of the best ways I've found to recharge my batteries. It's not laziness, it's actually a skill, a very Dutch life skill. So, those are the 5 Dutch habits I've developed: being more rational, eating only one warm meal a day, expecting directness, saving and investing, and practicing Nixon. Some of these might be age, some might be the Netherlands, but either
Yeah,
way, I've become a different version of myself. And
I
I kind
love
of
that.
like it.
I
Which of
love it.
these
I love
habits
it.
do
I
you
love
relate
it.
to or find interesting? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories about life in the Netherlands and my travel adventures around the world. Thank you.
That's so awesome. He genuinely seems like a really good guy. Like, as I'm listening to him and watching him, my spirit, like, it's like genuinely tells me that he seems like just a really awesome guy. And I love that. He talks about the habits he picked up in the Netherlands after living there for 11 years. That's awesome. And these are just great habits that have helped completely change him. Like I said, with age, as human beings, we're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving. No matter where we are going to change and evolve over time. That just happens. But I think being in that Dutch environment, a lot of those habits I've seen in a lot of different Dutch videos. That's like Dutch culture, and that culture I believe is absolutely influencing him and definitely um, adding to that change. That's all we have. Y'all talk to me in the comment section. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, check out the next. I'll see you next time.